Hello and welcome everyone to Coach for Mind. This is another one of our Nuggets of Wisdom episode, and today's topic of discussion is 5 stages of grief. And I would like to welcome Mr. Lekh Bajaj to the show. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Riti. And today's topic is very important because although this term is maybe a bit alien to us, what is grief and why is it important? But fundamentally, as part of human life, grief is very, very common emotion which every one of us has to go through at some point or the other. So I think it will be insightful to talk about grief and the 5 stages of it.
Definitely. So, this brings to my first question. The way we always love to start is by defining things and making it simple. So, what is grief?
Yes. So a very simple understanding of grief would be that grief is an intense sense of sadness which comes because of loss of a loved one. Now, that loss of loved one, so first of all, it is sadness, it is an intense form of sadness, but its trigger is not anything else, not XYZ reason, but only it is limited to loss of someone. Now, that loss can happen to death, that we lost someone to death, or to losing someone, a loved one, to a breakup or to a divorce.
So like it will never include reason like career, like if you were too attached to a goal and you couldn't achieve it, and if you're sad because of that, that won't come under this category.
Mostly not. Mostly it is linked to a relationship or a loved one.
Okay. So the next question, which is the topic of discussion, what are the 5 stages of grief, as you mentioned?
Yes. So I'll quickly go through it with some examples as well. So I think we can, to simplify it, we can take an example of a person who has lost a loved one to death. And again, this can happen, the same stages can happen even in case of breakup or divorce as well. Or if for any other reason, if you have to part ways from a person. Almost these stages would occur in, it can, order can vary, but the stages would be roughly the same. So first one is the stage of denial, and you can maybe imagine a person who recently got the news that their loved one passed away, and suddenly, because that news is too overwhelming, so what the mind would do is immediately shut that information, go into the denial that this hasn't happened. I'll just give you an example from one of my clients. So what happened with her was that she got the news that her father passed away, and she was in extreme denial. Although they went to the first hospital, the doctor said that he is no more. She said, "Okay, doctors are stupid here. Let's go to another hospital." And then one of her neighbors said that it is actually the case. She slapped him. That what stupid are you talking? Let's go to that particular hospital. So that was denial because it's immediate information that you lost someone that you love. Then you cannot accept that immediately, and it's too overwhelming for the mind. Now the denial can last from few minutes to few hours to few weeks as well sometimes. And you can also imagine same happening in case of if there is a sudden breakup or sudden divorces comes to your knowledge, and then you suddenly are too overwhelmed and then you react in ways of denial. Second stage is anger. As soon as the denial calms down, the second stage is again, we do not want to feel too vulnerable. So what is easier to feel is anger rather than feeling the sadness of it and the pain of it. Anger is easier to express. So then the person goes into being angry and irritable with life, with God, with people around, that how can this happen? Or you must have seen in movies that people become very angry at the doctor, that why did you do this? You made the mistake. So the next stage is of anger. Once this second stage calms down, then comes the third stage of bargaining. And this bargaining also is very interesting stage. It is basically the person is internally feeling very helpless. And to feel some sense of control, they come up with certain very random logic that they will talk to God that please bring this person back. I'll never do anything bad in my life. I'll treat this person with absolute love. I'll never be angry with this person. I'll never hurt someone. So all this bargaining happens, although internally they have started to realize that nothing can change, but still to not feel very helpless, they try to bargain. And there is always a strong sense of regret associated in this stage, and people regret that I wish we would have taken this person to that hospital, or I wish I would have treated this person nicely, I wish I would have taken their call. So all these regrets are also part of this stage. Then fourth stage, which is again very important stage, is called depression. Then the reality in a way sinks in, and then the person feels very extremely helpless, very sad that they are in actual emotional pain, that this has happened and this person is never coming back to their life. And that painful stage is in a way very important, but so far the previous three stages are to in a way make a transition into that stage. In a way it's a mind's way of coping with that. It shouldn't be a sudden burst of emotions. So slowly mind takes these first three stages and then person goes into that deep state. This is what lasts the longest. And then comes the final stage, which is acceptance, which does not mean that the pain is not there or the memories are not there, but it is that now the person has accepted this has happened. Even though they are sad, they are still in pain, but they look forward to life, that life will go on. And then with those memories and bit of sadness and missing that person moves with the life. So these are broadly 5 stages, and they can occur in any order. Although initially when this model was given, it was suggested that they happen in this way only, but now the research says that people can jump from one stage to the other. That a person who comes to depression one stage, they still can jump to denial state, and then again jump to anger, etc. Another important part is these stages can last from few weeks to few months, even for some people to few years. And the longer it lasts, then we have to seek mental health professionals' help to make the person to pass through these stages.
So, as you mentioned, all these stages seem to be quite beneficial in a way that it's required for us to be able to cope with such a sudden shocking news of the loss of a loved one, to be able to smoothly transition into the acceptance phase, which is what we all want to move to as fast as possible. But somehow all of these are important to prepare us. So do you think, or maybe can you guide us through a way to systematically heal the different stages of our grief?
So I think in most of the stages, there is no intervention is needed. It's a natural flow of the mind to go through these stages. Sometimes people do get stuck in the stage of depression, and especially there is another term which is slightly technical. It's called complicated grief, in which there is a mixed sort of relationship with the person that you lost. For example, there was a person very close to you, but you hated that person because they have hurt you in the past. But now that they are gone, now you are also feeling sad that they are gone, but you also hate that person. Or if, let's say, there are some complicated dynamics with that person, so then it leaves the person hanging with too many mixed emotions. You are missing that person also, you are sad that they are gone, but there is another side to how your relationship was with that person. So such cases are where intervention is mostly needed to resolve these mixed emotions, and this is referred to as complicated grief. Otherwise, usually if let's say a person lost someone, at least 6 months we take as a normal, that 6 months is a very normal. But if it lasts much more than 6 months, then we can seek therapy or counseling. And there are research-based techniques to help a person to grieve in a healthy way, rather than getting stuck at a stage.
And I think counseling and therapy just to keep your emotion, even if you think you've crossed all the stages in a healthy manner, still I think being in touch with a counselor, having a therapy session once in a while will help you deal with it in a more healthier and more complete way, I guess.
Absolutely. And even if you think it in terms of that, some people, let's say if we take example of breakup, some people would move on within few weeks, some people would take few months, and some people can remain stuck in for years, which is where some intervention is needed if it is the grief is going on for much longer. Otherwise, yes, breakups or death of a loved one or divorce, they are painful, but eventually natural flow happens and people move on. But if that is not happening for some reason, then intervention can be done.
It was a beautiful video. This was a beautiful piece of information that if people allow it to seep in, it will help them in enormous ways. I believe that. So,
And I think awareness is very important here as well, because person feels that I'll never get out of this state,
exactly.
knowing that it will go away soon with time.
Definitely. So I would like to let you know that everything passes. Time lets everything heal. But somehow, somewhere, if you feel stuck in any of these 5 stages of grief, do not hesitate to reach out for mental health support, to reach out to Coach for Mind for your mental health and that of your loved ones as well. And if you found some beautiful value in this video that we are creating for you, do not forget to press on the bell icon to receive notifications for any new video that we upload, and like this video and share it with your loved ones. You can also follow us on Instagram and LinkedIn for beautiful posts to uplift your mental health and well-being. Thank you and bye-bye.
Make sure you subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon so that whenever we come up with a new video, you are notified about it. Thank you.